you in a pickle, just make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses. And if you wanna be a chef, then I say cook it up. And if you wanna be the champ, well I say hook it up. Cause I can never tell you what you can't be. Yes I can, see a failure is something you can't be. Plus, I get you a shuttle if you feel that you need space. The sky's the limit, get you wings for your birthday. Whatever makes you happy, if you like it, then I love it. Turning nothing into something, I'm all in and I ain't bluffing. I'm who you got when the world ain't got your back, man. I pull over when life puts you in the fast lane. I'm in your corner like Bandini, if you tumble, I'd tell you like him. Rumble, young man, rumble, see. Some women go cause I ain't make them happiest. But who am I to impede on somebody's happiness? I guess I learned a lot by going with the flow of things. You fight the current like salmon, we die and go insane. That's why I stay up in my lane, just be a lyricist. And yes, I'm multifaceted, but not omnipotent. And what I do know is we all gon' have a path to take. And I won't be the one that's standing in somebody's way. There ain't no perfect life or perfect way to get success. But there's a perfect way to take the time to be yourself. And you gon' find it when you find it, ain't no rushing that. Too many get running this rat race, how many gon' just relax? When life ain't just about money, Jesus ain't die rich. Neither did Martin Luther Gandhi or Malcolm X. And one say life gon' constantly change, so don't get stuck in one space, you won't be open for things. What's happening? Shout out to everybody. This is gonna get blunt, very interesting, I guess. You know, I use the Marvin Gaye "What's Going On" the album cover because of just society in general, right? And what I see. And it annoys me, but I'm gonna touch on a bunch of different things. So here's the thing. America is not going in a positive direction in very many facets, right? And what happens is I see people running around like, oh, it's not a big deal. Everything's going to be okay. No, it's not. So first and foremost, watch this. Now this quote unquote war with Iran, whatever. I look at it as, hey, now y'all ain't worried about the Epstein thing because it's a war that's just came out of nowhere for no real reason. And now people gotta, say, oh, we don't like Iran. And now you got people making social media posts, oh, you un-American. Y'all don't even know why they over there. Y'all don't even know why. There ain't no real reason. And this goes into what's going to consistently be wrong with America in the future. Nobody pays attention to context. Nobody pays attention to history. Nobody is looking, I ain't gonna say nobody, but people aren't really looking at society and going, oh, I see where this is going, and let me prepare for what's the next thing that's about to happen. You don't see that. You see a society of irresponsible people. That's a majority of irresponsible people who are just kind of hoping that the responsible people take care of everything while they just figure it out. And it's like, yo, what's going to happen is the responsible people are going to prepare for what's coming, and the irresponsible people, y'all going to get cut off. And y'all just not, it's not going to dawn on you. Like, oh man, what's really going on? Like, what's going on is People keep saying the rich get richer and the poor get poorer and the middle class is shrinking, and and the economy and the deficit, and it's like, yo, are y'all not paying attention? Oh, now we can't afford a home. Now people are living on credit. What do you think is happening right now? So I so I say, okay, let me say this, because before I didn't decide not to say anything, because I don't care sometimes. You know, right. Common sense is missing, but let me get into that for a second. People don't have discipline because somebody else is already disciplined for them. It's not that it's too much stimulation, it's just too little discipline. It's not that there's a lack of education, it's a lack of discipline and people actually learning, because you can still pass and go to the next grade even though you're stupid. You get what I'm saying? It's not uh, um people's understanding is messed up. People's understanding, they understand somebody else gonna do it for me, which is a dumb understanding in my opinion, but that's what's going on in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say this. Um Now it's like, okay, the younger kids, y'all not prepared at all for what's about to happen at all. And I think y'all parents ain't telling y'all, yo, let me explain this to you. If you don't get out into this adult world early, by the time you ready to get in this adult world, it's gonna be too late. And I'm not talking about, the adult world as in um um just the bills part. I'm talking about the sacrifice part, the part where you got to learn how to budget. You got to learn how to cut some things short. You might have to put the video games down. You might have to put the partying down. You might have to slowly but surely go, okay, it's time, that I can't do all these wants. And you see that in society because the quote unquote economy is shrinking. And I say that because I hear people, I hear a lot of adults talk about inflation. But then I think about it, it's like, you do realize I don't really hear a lot of I hate to say this. I think there should be more adults talking about inflation. But I started thinking to myself, oh, you know why I don't hear a lot of, young adults and some adults talk about inflation? Because y'all still living with your parents. It really ain't hit you yet. You talk like you go, oh man, stuff costs a lot. Yeah, but you ain't paying the rent or the mortgage. You know what I'm saying? It's too many folks out here who are grown who got a car note, but they ain't paying the rent. It's crazy. It's that. And let me get into this, because this is not about a quote unquote young thing. This is about a responsible, irresponsible thing. Okay. So I'm looking out at the world and I'm like, yo, okay, so if the debt is 38 trillion and they say in 10 years it's gonna be, 63, right? That means the cost of everything is gonna continue to go up, right? And it's like everybody's just walking around, like, well, I'm gonna just go to the restaurant, I'm gonna just give me a DoorDash, I'm gonna, I'm gonna just go out and kick it and just I guess it's that's messed up. That ain't gonna affect me, but it is. And then you got people talking about, you know, why is having a child so expensive? Y'all ain't even trying to have kids. I don't even want to hear it no more. I ain't like what I see is a future of incels, men and women. A future of people who aren't prepared to leave the nest, but they're gonna be in the house eating up all the food and you know
using up all the Wi-Fi, and that's the parents' fault, right? And it's going to be and it's going to be an increased society of incels because they can't afford anything, you know, and people are looking for other people to help them, you know. Man, yeah, it's crazy, but if it's a digital currency with digital ID, people don't think about it, but you got a digital currency and a digital ID, and then it's gonna have like a social currency like China. And what happens when the vast majority of the United States is already in debt? Their currency is gonna always be in the negative, right? But the kicker is the you got the politicians, the government, Senate, Congress, whatever. They ain't never figured out how to fix this situation. And people go, "Oh, the boomers are gonna die," blah blah blah. It doesn't matter if the boomers die if the country's in a debt that they can't figure out. Because I'm gonna tell you, me being a Gen Xer, I know exactly what people in Gen X would do, but I know Gen X politicians won't do it. Because all Gen X people to do is like, you know what? We cutting we cutting so much in this budget, country gonna run on a skeleton. We want a skeleton crew, US. If the country brings in $38 trillion a year in income, guess what? We running on 19, and that 19 going to the deficit. And then the next year, the 19 going to the deficit. And then the next year, the 19 going to until it's paid off. And people gonna go, man, people lose jobs. Doesn't matter, because if inflation goes up, people gonna lose jobs anyway. We're not looking at a country that's built to employ people in the next 5 to 10 years. Because the companies, ironically, this is what they wanted. They wanted cheap labor overseas, right? To the point where people in America like, can I work from home? Like, everybody want to work from home. The country is gonna need people who actually gonna be working outside, you know, in the heat, in the snow, doing infrastructure work. That's what the country needs. But we have a society right now, pretty much it's too soft to rebuild America anyways. So what's gonna happen is it's gonna collapse because you're gonna have a bunch of people waiting on everybody else to fix it. And you see it in social media. Because even when we talk to the relationship concept of what's going on, what do you see? People who don't really do much want somebody else to come along and do everything for them. And that's how they think life is supposed to work. They're stupid as I don't know what, but this is what's going on. That same concept of relationship is the same concept of how the government is ran. Same concept. Somebody's gonna come along and fix it. It's your job to fix it though. Well, I'm just taking money from corporations and just playing stupid. I got a meeting about absolutely nothing with a bunch of other politicians who have no actual solutions. This is the United States. And then, I got to do it. Like I've seen people online, people who were quote unquote conservatives or MAGA, Trump, you let me down. If y'all don't shut up. The reason why y'all voted for that man in the first place is you voted for racism. You voted for racism to whiten the country again, and it ain't working. Okay? We're going to get rid of all the Hispanics. And then, the white companies that was making money, they had a lot of Hispanics. We need you back. My bad. Stupid stuff. We're going to get rid of DEI. Okay. We're going to get rid of affirmative action and DEI. Okay. Oh, it's a lot of white women that got fired because it really wasn't black people. Duh. In the military, we're going to make all of these crazy concessions to make sure black people have issues in the military. Okay, now it's time to go to war. Oh, we're going to have to send a lot of white folks. Oh, my bad. Dumb stuff. That's what this is about. That's what keeps happening over and over and over and over again. So now we got an issue where, what up? So now we got this issue where I'm looking at our society and going, oh, okay, we're gonna have a generation of adults who are gonna think, hey man, let me just get on social media and do and make it do what it do. Like I fuck a job. Like we have this fake entrepreneurial spirit, right? Like, be an entrepreneur. Y'all don't know what that is though. So we're gonna have a society of a bunch of irresponsible people with very low skills who want to be entrepreneurs because they don't want to work a job and jobs ain't hiring, which means you're gonna have a lot of adults living with other adults, not necessarily as roommates, but as I'm on some tough times right now. That's what you're gonna have, and I gotta say it because yeah, some of y'all gonna have to get prepared for this. Like some of you folks who are used to, who think, hey man, this adult world is a mother. It's like, hey, it's about to get worse for you. You gonna have, like, if you on your feet, the goal is you're gonna have to take care of yourself. And if you taking care of yourself good, there's gonna be people who gonna quote unquote need your help to take care of them too. And the question is, will you do it? Because with the rising cost of living, it costs more to help people get on their feet nowadays. And imagine 5 years from now, it's going to be worse. Imagine 5 years from now, it's going to be worse. And going back to what I was saying about the irresponsible people. Okay. Let me calm down and get to this and say this right. We are at pretty much a tipping point, and it looks like people don't see it. And what I see is a bunch of adults, older adults, young adults. The majority of these adults are not prepared for what's going on in what's coming up, what's beyond the horizon in the near future. They're not prepared because of their own selfishness or their own materialism. A lot of y'all don't realize we're in an era of people who were accustomed to having a lot of wasteful spending, and now the money is getting cut shorter and shorter. And what I mean by that is this: we've had for a few decades people have enough, what do you call that, residual income, whatever. Yeah, residual income, or just extra money to spend. Y'all done spent thousands of dollars on tattoos. Y'all done spent thousands of dollars on clothes. Y'all done spent thousands of dollars on trips. Y'all done spent thousands of dollars on drugs and alcohol. I'm just saying thousands as just a low number. Y'all done spent thousands of dollars just on phones, right? Thousands of dollars just on just video games, just and what it doesn't, what people don't think about is people are accustomed to spending other people's money because their parents laid out the red carpet for a lot of people, right? And because their parents laid out the red carpet, they spent their money on all kinds of BS. So now in this day and age, you're gonna have people who have a hard time saying, um, "I can't afford it." That's why, excuse me, that's why you see so many people living on credit right now, buying beer, buying groceries. You know what I'm saying? Buying gas on credit because people are so accustomed to overspending or buying expensive like expensive cars that they necessarily can't afford, but F it, because I want to be seen in this type of stuff. Because of that era, you're seeing a lot of adults who can't afford being an adult. And because they can't afford being an adult now, it's only going to get worse in the near future. And it's like, yo, you're not seeing how these people are about to crash out. Like, there's only so many people that could, how can I say this? The let's just say the Uber, Lyft, DoorDash community is probably not going to get oversaturated. I would think it would, but it's like you need a car, and less people can afford to buy a car or even make the payments on a car, right? So now we're at this point. It's like, yo, y'all do realize like the amount of successful people keeps shrinking, but it looks like it's growing because of social media. And because the amount of successful people is shrinking, the amount of people who want to prey on successful people is rising. And what I would say is, I hope y'all know those successful people are gonna try to disappear. They ain't staying around. They not here for it. Like I see a lot of these businesses, people having these businesses and they open the businesses and it's like, yo, I'm gonna tell you something. And this is what's messed up. There are people who have good businesses, successful businesses, right? And the economy is so bad and the corporate greed is so bad that let's just say you have a restaurant, right? And your restaurant takes off and it becomes successful. And you're making a good living on a restaurant. With these, but you rented out a space, right? These fools are like, oh, you're making money? Oh man, you're doing good. I'm gonna raise the rent on you. Like, hold up. Um, this place has like five different like this commercial real estate has like five different businesses in it, right? So the ones that's not making as much money, you're not charging them. You don't want to. You're not gonna raise their rent double and triple because they're not making money, but because this business is making money, you want to double and triple the rent. They're like, yeah. So people go, okay, cool. Well, you can raise the rent, but I'm moving because you're at the end of the lease anyways. So you're seeing businesses that are successful having to change locations because of the people that own it. And then people start getting hit with all the taxes and the bills, and then they got to sell a commercial property. It's like the stupidity of corporate greed and capitalism in America has went AWOL. So now what you see, like I said, what you're seeing is businesses moving. And now you just see these empty. You see, man, such and such used to be there. It's harder to have a location that's I've been going here for years. Like that's becoming more and more difficult to say, I've been going to this spot for whatever it is for like 10, 15 years. Because if they don't at some point own the land outright, I promise you, these commercial real estate owners, they're gonna ruin it. And I say that to say, just with the concept of American business, it's going downhill. And I say it to say it this way. There was a thing where, good customer service means you're gonna have repeat customers in any form of business, any and every form of business. If you were to deal with an insurance company and they had great customer service, you're going to stay there. You know what I'm saying? If you went to a if you had a went to a mechanic and they had a great customer service, you're gonna keep going back. If you dentist, doctor, you get what I'm saying? Lawyer, any type of business, right? But what you see in American society now is it's horrible customer service all across the board. What winds up happening a lot of times, people do stuff over the phone or on the computer without even talking to a person because, truth be told, it wasn't the fact that and I'm gonna say this with common sense and all due respect. A lot of people who were employees of businesses, y'all didn't realize they let y'all be jerks to the customer just so they can put in an automated system. That's what happened. And 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 I can see even now people still don't get it because they work their businesses and they just got a bad attitude. And it's like, yo, can I tell you something? You, you're not gonna have a job. So all of your bad attitude and your not willing to deal with people and customers, and don't worry about it. You won't have any. That's what's gonna happen. You won't have any. And then it's like, oh my God, how do we get the customers back? You can't. You can't. So I say that to say, like, we're at a point where it's like, you know, this is why people kept talking about AI, because AI means you don't have to deal with people because people got bad attitudes. And AI also means company ain't got to pay people because they paid people with bad attitudes. And those people thought they could have a bad attitude and keep the job without thinking like, yo, damn, my kids might not have a job because of my bad attitude. This business might not hire people anymore, but people are dumb. Right. So that's what's been going on, you know. And you're right, like people gonna cut jobs and people gonna spend less money on stuff. And to me, it's like it is what it is. Like people need to start, hey man, y'all need to start buying canned goods, dry foods, because this concept of because I'm an American, I'm always gonna eat good and live good and have the best life. No, no, you know, we about to roll this thing back to when I was a child and people were struggling. And the issue is a lot of people. I don't think y'all can actually handle struggle or adversity because you wasn't raised to do it. A lot of excuse me, a lot of dumbass parents. I want to make sure my kid never has to go with the things that I went through. And now your kid's soft as hell. And now you complaining that your kid don't know how to do nothing. And the reason is because you wanted to make sure they never had to go through anything that you went through. But the shit you went through made you responsible. You made them irresponsible. So this country, like what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, man, from top to bottom. Get ready for a roller coaster ride. And what I'm about to say, hear me well, please. There are going to be a lot of people who are responsible, who handle their business, and for all the other folks in the world who go, you know what, such and such always on point. I could reach out to them. Them motherfuckers not gonna be around. Y'all won't be able to depend on people that are so responsible and dependable because they're gonna be like, yo, no, you had a whole lifetime to get it together. I'm not gonna take care of it. No. You get what I'm saying? Absolutely. And what I'm about to say, like what you said about the rites of passage and critical thinking, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say this in my opinion, right? Parents and children ran from rites of passage and critical thinking, and it came back to bite them in the butt because there's a lot of parents who who shielded their kids from rites of passage, and there's a lot of kids who, they ran from rites of passage, and now they're just adults and they don't know how to do shit, and it's like that's your fault. And there's a lot of parents who didn't use critical thinking with their kids and let their kids critically think. And it's a lot of kids that was like, I ain't got to do that. I don't want to do that. Okay, now you're a fucking idiot. Because it's a lot because of the concept of people think they're smart when they're not. And this goes back to American society because American society let a lot of stupid people become successful, or a lot of stupid people um, become not even just rich. You ain't even got to be wealthy, but rich. So there's a concept. You don't really have to be smart to be successful. You don't have to be the best to be successful. That's the concept of it's not what you know, but it's who you know. So now people don't realize it's a bunch of idiots who are quote unquote successful. But what happens when you have a successful idiot at the helm? They mess stuff up because they're accustomed to failing up. Thus, what do you look at the United States government? It's filled with a bunch of people who failed up. That's why they can't fix a problem. That's why. When you think about the United States government, I don't care who's in office, I don't care who's the majority, they can't fix a problem to save their life because they've all failed up. They don't know how to fix anything. All they know how to do is talk a good game, and if they can get you to believe them, I'm gonna vote for them. They're gonna change things. They ain't do a damn thing because they don't know how. And goes back to what I was saying a minute ago. They are more problem creators in American society than there are problem solvers. And the problem creators are dependent upon the problem solvers because they're like somebody else is always going to be around to clean up the mess. And because there are less problem solvers in America than problem creators, well, the problem solvers are going to learn, like, are going to go, you know what? I'm not solving everybody else's problem. I'm solving my problems. Them your problems. Because the people who the problem creators never fix anything for anybody. The people who create problems, they never actually solved anything for a problem solver. So what you wind up with is we have a society with a majority of people who only know how to create problems for other people. And those people are going to back away and be like, look, man, you on your own. You on your own, G. I'm out. And what's going to happen is, like I said, there's going to be a lot of people crashing out. Because when you have a society full of people who create problems, when they have to actually depend on themselves to fix the problem, they're going to crash out. because they can't depend on themselves. They know they're unreliable. So the concept, and I'm not saying they're gonna crash out just just because they're stupid. They're gonna crash out because I need to create a bigger problem for you to come solve for me. Because and you've seen this with people who um they're screw ups, right? And when you go, okay, you know what, you done enough, you done screwed up so many times, I done bailed you out so many times, you on your own. Then they create the biggest screw up of all time, right? And it's like, yo, I really need your help. I just jumped in the pit of alligators, and I might not make it. You gotta come help me. It's like, what? I'm gonna die in 30 seconds if you don't come help me. How much? What am I supposed to do? Jump in the pit of alligators and help you swim out? Yes. No. No. I don't know how you got in there in the first place. You've seen it all the time. You've seen people who have money problems and people fix their money problems and then they just blow a bunch of money and wind up back at square one. You've seen people who, oh, you finally got it together. Okay, they get it together and then they just create, they get in a car wreck, they hurt themselves, they get super high, super drunk. They're just crazy like that. You know, it don't make no sense. And right. And as you said, you ain't gonna help them people. I can guarantee you that, Thomas. You ain't gonna help them people, fam. Like, nah, 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 nah. Y'all on your own. Cause as the economy gets worse, it's just people are gonna get worse. It's just gonna get worse. It's just like, hey man, I don't know what to do. You do know what to do. You just won't do it. You get what I'm saying? It's just crazy. And I hate to say it, but I really I'm kind of like really whatever. Like it is what it is with these people nowadays. Cause like this concept of, hey man, you know what? I'ma just be I'ma be as as dumb as I could possibly be and as rude as I could possibly be. And as lazy as I could possibly be. And at the end of the day, somebody else gonna figure it out for me. She's like, okay, all right. And I got that concept from school because like when I was younger, people they go to school, you go to school and you have like the group assignments every now and then. And a lot of times stupid people like to get with the smart people in the group and do little to nothing. And the smart people do the work and they get a good grade for it, right? Well, those group assignments are about to be done. And because those group assignments, it translated to life where, people go, oh man, I'm gonna hang out, I'm gonna be over there with you because you winning and I'm gonna get some credit for it. It's like, no, 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 no. You about to drown, playboy. Now, now I gotta get into this other thing about what's going on nowadays. People ain't gonna make it because people are too selfish to have common sense. People are naive. This concept that prosperity lasts forever is idiotic. It's retarded. This concept of everything's looking bad, but even though everything's looking bad, I'm gonna be straight. Is dumb. And it's like people just they do like ostriches, they stick their head in the sand. It's like, yo, um, if an ostrich stuck his head in the sand in a because because a bomb went off near it. Even though his head's going to be in the sand, it's still going to get blown to smithereens. Like, that shock wave is going to kill it. And what I see is we live in a society of people who you can see. You're not seeing the bomb drop. You're seeing the bomb being loaded on the plane on social media and being set and being told it's going to land in your town in 5 days. And you're sitting there watching it, which, and it's like, well, they said it's coming. It's going to come tomorrow. Why you never left town? Oh, I don't. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? It could kill you. Really? Could it? I think that's a conspiracy. Oh, okay. And then, boom. And then you have to learn that way. And we live in a society that's that naive now. Like, we're at a point where it's a normal thing where people go, oh yeah, don't touch a hot stove. It'll burn you. I don't believe that. I think you've lied to me because I don't think fire can actually burn a human being. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So you gonna put your hand on the hot stove while the fire going? Yes, and nothing's gonna happen. All right. You know what? Don't do it just yet though. Why? Because I want to leave. Because when you burn your hand and you scream my name for help, I don't want to be around. When you trying to call with your one good hand, but the pain got you freaking out to call 911, I don't want to be around because this is common sense stuff that you want to test. And this is where we're at. Like this is literally, it's like, yo, like you got young adults and some grown just people that's, I say 30 to 25, not 35, let's do 35, 35 to 25. Let me do that. Y'all spent all of y'all formidable learning years not paying attention. And some of y'all got college degrees. And now, now your stupidity, you know, has got you in a jam. And I'm gonna tell you the worst part about this. Because I see this on social media a lot. There is a lot of people on social media that make content that's completely bullshit and it's out of context, and they know it's bullshit and out of context, but they know the audience is not going to double check it because the audience is just looking for entertainment. People come up with arguments and conversations and points of view, and it sounds good. It's like, but if you listen to them, you're like, yo, that's that's not real, G. Like, no. Half of what you said is true, and the other half isn't. But the audience don't know the other half isn't. Because hey, we just gonna go with the BS. Like, that's got to be true. And I've seen people, and this is how bad it is. It's it's 2026, right? 2026. I've seen people who fuck up what happened in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and people just go, and you could easily check this stuff. It's like, no, that's not real, but it's like, no, what they said is actually true. No, the fuck it's not. But they know you're too stupid to go, something sounds fishy about that. You're just gonna believe it. You know, right. There's that's what Google is always for, to look up stuff. It's a search engine. Google, Yahoo, Bing, all that. It was a search engine. But now it's like, oh my goodness. So now I'm looking like, okay, we're in the quote unquote, we're still in the quote unquote information age, and people can be lied to directly in the information age when they have information at the palm of their hands to double check if they've been told the truth or not, and they won't. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is about to be gone. This is about to be. This is not going to go well. This is not going to go well because at the end of the day, it's like, oh okay, so you got a calculator and you still can't count, and you ain't trying to use the calculator. You know, you have all of this information at the palm in the palm of your hands, but I can guarantee you know more about frivolous BS than the stuff that you're going to actually need in the future. It's bad. So I say that to say society in the information age seems to be the easiest to lie to. See, back like think about this. Let me do it in a hip hop reference. When NWA made F the Police, right? White people didn't understand it until Rodney King. They had to because that was that was L.A. right. So white people didn't understand it until they saw the Rodney King thing. Like, oh my God, the police do this, and black people like, man, what? Man, shut up, y'all white ass know this. Yeah, it's like y'all white ass been doing this shit forever and a day. Don't act surprised now. What y'all was surprised about was somebody actually had it on camera. So then you couldn't lie. Then you couldn't go, oh my God. They caught us. Thus, you fast forward now, everything is on camera. That's the issue with crime and corruption right now. It's too many cameras. But I say that to say, using that reference of it took something, something to be taped for people to go, oh, that's what's going on. Nowadays, you got it all on tape. And you still don't know what's going on. And it don't make sense. And it's crazy because it's to the point where somebody could show you what happened and you not believe it. Like, but at the same time, somebody can make up something AI and you believe that. So it's like, hey man, so now the sun doesn't come up in the morning because you're not paying attention enough to see it. The moon doesn't come up at night because you're not paying attention enough to see it. It's like, okay, time out. Like, what are you doing? Like these are simple things now. We're right on the cusp of actually living in idiocracy. We're right on the cusp of it. Because now, you know, you're seeing it like in real time where people are being rewarded for stupidity. So you're seeing more people gravitate to doing stupid shit because it seems like stupid shit can make you money. Thus, you know, I'm not gonna do. I was about to say something cold, but I'm not gonna do that. But I'm gonna use this. This is why you can have people who are on social media just doing dumb shit. Just oh, they're famous for doing dumb shit. And it's like, okay. And then when people say need to have a real conversation about what's really going on in the world and what's really happening, people are like, but it's not what I like. Okay. Okay. Just remember that though. Because I used to tell my son this, right? Because he used to be on the phone a lot. And I used to tell him these two things when he was in school. I said, the two things I would tell him was like, listen, you can't be stupid when you got all the information on your phone. You're choosing to be stupid at that point. And then the other thing I was telling him was like, oh, listen, because this was about social media. I was like, yo, Let me tell if you can't be on your phone all the time with somebody paying the bill because you need to learn how to pay your own bill to have the phone. And it's like, what? It's like, listen, because a lot of people, when it's time to go out be an adult, you're not going, you ain't gonna have time to be on the phone like that. You're gonna have to pay the phone bill. And I say that because we're at a point where, you know, think about it. People were sharing Netflix accounts, you know, people got these video game accounts, phone plans. Like a lot of America is not actually standing on its own feet anymore. You know, now you got like the quote unquote cheaper services now, and it's like, yo, okay, that's cool, that's cool. Now they got quote unquote Starlink is out now or whatever, and people aren't realizing this. And I'm about to say this, and it's cold blooded. Do you realize you have people who spent the majority of their life in the house and still can't cook? Think about that. Like, this is where we're at. Like, you've got kids, young adults. I ain't moving the goalposts. You've got kids, you might not even be telling me, my bad. You got kids, you got young adults, who been in the house all day. They don't go outside and play. They've been playing video game. And they're grown and they can't cook. And it's like, yo, really what I was about to say was words. I was like, you do right. We live in a society with fat people that can't cook. That been in the house all day. That's crazy. Like that's insane to me. Like, how did you get fat and you can't cook? Like, we're living in a society where people don't, you know, damn. Damn. We're living in a place where people don't clean. Like, you got to talk to adults about just cleaning themselves. Like, and I say that, yeah, damn, dog. I'm sorry. This just messed me up. Yeah, no manners, no structure. This just messed me up. Like, I saw a thing recently where it was like, people's parents were going to their job interviews with them. And I remember I had a friend of mine who was like, yo, um, she remember a guy tried to talk to her when she was at work, but his mom had to fill out his paperwork for her. And he's like, what? And it's like, yo, time out, time out, time out. So now I'm looking around and I'm like, yo, what are we doing? Because people talk about, like, and I said this before, where people go, man, I'm not, people say they can't afford kids and why have kids and why, have a family because of the economy. And I think to myself, you know, this is just an excuse. You wasn't gonna have kids no way because you're not trying to take care of yourself. The kids is an extra thing to take care of. You ain't trying to do that too. That was actually a dentist visit, you know. Right. Exactly, Miles. I've been saying people actually think somebody coming to save them. And it's like, I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. I'm like, yo, you know, ain't nobody coming, right? Like, and I, and I'm gonna say this, and it's cold. Too many people on there. Too many people. Too many young people have gone to therapy for shit that you shouldn't be going to therapy for. That's going to like the softness of society is at that place where people need. Oh, I need help. No, the fuck you don't. Not for that. Not for that. You might need therapy for something, but it ain't for that. You know, and I'm saying this even adults too. It's like some of y'all be upset about shit and you can't move forward in life about shit, and it's not real. It's not something really real. It's like, yo, I get it. You need to constantly be a victim of something because you don't want to actually grow up and live. And it's like, yeah, I'm done. You're right. It's like I'm at that point in life. I'm just looking around like, bro, a lot of people ain't gonna make it on purpose. And there ain't nobody that's gonna help you with that. It's nobody that's gonna help you with that. Oh, this concept of, you know, I'm gonna be famous and it's gonna fix all my problems. No, the fuck it's not. You know what? I'm gonna go online. I'm gonna get famous online. You don't like making content like that. So how you gonna get famous? It's crazy. Right. And man, but a lot of people, having a community, at least it's important, but it's oppressive to, you know, damn, thanks for saying that, Jet. Um, Let me just say it this way: structure is oppressive now. You know, order is oppressive now, and the problem with that is it's a lot of free spirited people who just want to do any old thing because all of the heavy lifting is done by everybody else. All the heavy lifting done by somebody else. So it's like, yo, you know, I feel stifled and I feel oppressed. Exactly, fam. The same thing with social anxiety. You just nervous. You don't need therapy or you don't need a prescription for fucking being nervous. But you got like people are making they're making mountains out of molehills because they don't want to pick up a finger. They don't want to lift a finger and do something. It's like, oh, here we go again. Can you believe what my parents did to me? They made me act like an adult. I need therapy for that. No, you need to grow the fuck up. You know, how come I just can't take my time and find myself? What the fuck? You don't need to find yourself. You hear these people, I'm on a healing journey from what? I need to figure out my purpose. Y'all need to do all of this stuff with what fucking money? You need to find yourself. Okay. So who's footing the bill while you find yourself? I need to heal myself. So who's footing the bill while you healing yourself? I need to go find my purpose. So who's footing the bill when you finding your purpose? See, people think they slick. People just making up shit so they don't have to do anything in life. And what I'm saying is that era is gonna smack a lot of people in the face real heavy, real soon. You know, I try, I feel you. self, that's the thing. Self improvement is the answer, but people don't want to self improve. People want somebody to improve their self. Like, hey, can you improve me, please? Like, no, fuck no. Like you gotta like take this into consideration. It's probably been 2 decades since of people saying like people want a standing ovation or a pat on the back when they're let's just say out of morbidly obese and I just lost 100 pounds. I don't give a fuck. You shouldn't have been 100 pounds overweight. I'm not gonna pat you on the back for losing some shit you should have never had. You get what I'm saying? We live in a society where people go, oh, you know, this kid had access to everything and they didn't do anything with it. Let's give them more help. Fuck that kid. This is like the society changed. The pendulum swung so far that people don't realize how stupid this is. And I say it in this way because, yeah, focusing on the root, not the symptoms. Exactly. I'm gonna say it this way. It's like people don't realize, and I've said this before, for all younger people, whether y'all know millennials, Gen Z, whatever, I'm gonna tell you what they gonna tell y'all. Y'all gonna say the economy's messed up, the job market's messed up, the housing market's messed up, you know, inflation is crazy, and you got a point. And I'm gonna tell you what they're gonna tell y'all. Y'all were the most spoiled. You would give them the most resources. You had the most opportunities than any other generation. That's what they're gonna tell you. I can guarantee this. What they're gonna tell you. Y'all had everything, but y'all fucked it off. And yes, the economy messed up. The housing market. They're gonna tell you. You had the best educations. You went to the best schools. We went to the best colleges. We gave you a bunch of tutors and coaches, and we had you on the best diet. And you know we helped your self-esteem, and we put you in the best situations. That's what they're gonna tell you. And is it true? Yes. Is it some bullshit too? Yes. Because what they're gonna say is people don't have the grit to actually work through the rough times to get to the good times. And this is where we're at. Like people don't take the good with the bad no more. That's a problem. And it's gonna be a huge problem in the near future. People don't take the good with the bad. People just want good. You don't learn from good all the time. There's got to be some bad. And people have been on easy street for so long that bad is a crisis. And and what I'm saying is bad is coming. And there's going to be a lot of people like as the shit hits the fan. There's gonna be a lot of people who gonna be on easy street because it's like, yo, I didn't prepare for all the tough times in the world. I could make it, but there's gonna be a whole lot of people who gonna have a meltdown. They're not gonna know how can you live like this? It's like shit. I lived like this as a kid. What are you talking about? What's your issue? So it's like, as you said, life keeps moving forward. You're right. And life is going to keep moving forward in society, even when shit is really bad. So, I'm going to leave it at that, man. I'm going to go to bed. I appreciate all y'all, man. Peace.
This looks like a job for Superman.
Do this,
spoken from the lips of the young or the old. Fear of me.
Yeah. Gotta put it all in.
And they are Superman.
All the way.
I guess I'm taking off the cake through the glasses in the trash. Being super is great, saving y'all is such a drag. Even God took a break, me I ain't coming back. I got one life to live, if you don't like it, that's your ass. Cause nobody saved me, cause when I walk, I'm just a peon. I could use somebody just like I'm the kings of neon. This world is cold as ice, mixed with salt, mixed with freon. They got me pissed off, but that's better than being peed on. For eons, human beings took kindness for weakness. When you constipated, you start to appreciate shit. Put before you life and death, and you just gotta choose. The kryptonite life means you survive finish it. Lois, come holler at me. I got an ice couch. Thank you for coming out. Listen, I knew you would like it because we made it. I'm so frigid and so fly.